Welcome, beautiful people, to another episode, which doubles up as the last episode of the year for Challenge Player One. My name is Archie, and Challenge Player One is always about bringing guests, lovers of games, but people in many different industries that are very much doing important things. Now, the individual I have is easily one of the most important people within the gaming industry, not just within diversity and inclusion, but everything else surrounding that. And the only way and the best way I can introduce her is through reeling off some accolades, reeling off some things that will really kind of put into perspective how important this individual is. So this individual has received an honorary professorship at Norwich University of the Arts. She was featured in British Vogue as one of the top players changing the gaming and entertainment industry. Also serves as a member of the British Academy of Films and Television Arts. And she has also spoken and consulted for dozens upon dozens upon dozens of brands and industries, including your faves and my faves. That's right, I am with none other than the CEO and founder of Black Girl Gamers, Jayan Lopez.
Oh,
welcome.
What a bad gal entry.
Welcome.
I love that.
I love.
Thank you
listen,
so much.
You all of the accolades have to be given. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for closing out the year for Challenge Player One as our third guest as well. There's so much I want to speak about with you regarding Black Girl Gamers, but I want to know, how are you really? How is Jayan?
Jayan is transitioning, developing. I'm back in the UK for a bit because of those who know, I spend time in the US and the UK, and I think that was needed for me because I needed to come and center and ground myself. This year's been a very tough year, and it's allowing me to kind of step back, assess, do a macro view of like what we do, what we're doing, how we're moving forward, and yeah, I can say that I'm better than I was earlier this year. I'm optimistic.
Good.
But I'm also tired. I want this year to like kind of allow me to just have a break, to just relax for a bit.
Yeah. Are you resting?
Yeah. Yes and no. I am. You know, I'm slower than I usually am. If you know, like when I wake up in the morning and I'm up like meetings at 7, 8 or whatever, and that's my day. That's the trajectory of my day. So I'm definitely resting more than I was. Good. I think as well, right? Like when it comes to something that's so close to you and something that you manage and look after and oversee, that's all you. Like sometimes no one can pick that up for you apart from yourself. I know. And don't get me wrong, I have a great team. Shout out to my team.
Shout out to the team.
I do have a great team.
Yeah. But
it is like certain things where it's just like I just have to do it.
Of course.
And that is draining. Especially in an industry where it's like it can be love 1 minute and ultimate hate the next. And you know, I guess that's for Black women in any kind of industry, really. Definitely. But in an industry like gaming, where it's kind of been nurtured to be that way, I would say. And people are vocal. It's a little different. Yeah.
How have you dealt with the storms or the difficult moments this year? Because sometimes it's very much easy to kind of just be like, oh yeah, it's been difficult, and then kind of move on. But how, when those points happen, how do you deal with that?
It's hard to kind of respond to that question, because in that moment it was very much like, whoa, you know, I speak to the people who I know who have more like knowledge around me, so our publicists and stuff like that, where like the industry's become, and we know why, a certain person bought a certain platform that turned,
hey man,
yeah, I'm not gonna name no names, but you know, that kind of has an effect on people's mindset. And a lot of people within this industry who are consumers are extremely lonely and extremely angry, and so when that is taken advantage of by bad actors who just want to spread disinformation, and you're the receiving end of it, it can be extremely stressful. You have to lean on your inner circle and just take breaks. So sometimes it's just like, all right, if that's the case, just divest for a minute.
I also it's also a thing of like, it's an echo chamber. A lot of it is opinions being repeated, like whether it's your algorithm, whether it's whatever, it's actually catered to your bias. So I think one tweet that always resonated with me years and years ago was like, when I log off, you lot don't exist. Like that's
how it has to be.
That's it.
It has to be that way, but it's difficult when you're getting, now it goes beyond that platform.
Right.
So it goes into your email inbox and there's a death threat and you have to speak to the FBI or you speak to the police. Both, in fact, in my case. And then it's annoying when you hear people disbelieve that as well, because why would I make that up?
Of course.
I don't have the time to sit there and make that up. I'm not that kind of person that always needs to be in front of everything and involved in everything. But when things come into my personal life or stuff like that, it's when I have to
take action.
So I would say it's not anything I've ever been through before, but now I've gone through it. 100% I have thicker skin, but that's not to say I should have to have it.
Of course.
I hate that notion that, just develop thicker skin. Why should I have to?
Yeah, especially when it's pertaining to black women.
Like, hello?
Yeah.
But I will say, like, if it happens again, I think I know how to navigate a little bit more better.
Yeah.
Just because now the initial reactive emotions that I had at the time are probably like, okay, I remember being here. We don't need to react this way anymore. You don't need to be so like touched or so affected.
Yeah, that's good. And I'm happy that you've kind of used that situation because it's very, very, very easy to sit for too long in that situation and not be like, actually, okay, hold on, this is really shit or this is really frustrating. How do I now transition out of this in a way that, okay, so moving forward, it doesn't think. But I'd always say big up yourself and big up your team for kind of just being resilient in that essence, because I think any other person or individual or team that aren't as mentally driven or even sometimes have the team or the support can easily just crumble under that
100%
without any doubt.
No,
so
100%.
I want to swiftly move into you being a fashionable individual.
Okay.
You got the Elden Ring tee on, which I've never seen before. That's actually pretty cold, by the way.
Shout out to Arc 8. That is Arc 8 t-shirt, and the jacket is also from
well. Where do you feel? Actually, I'll ask this one. What phase of fashion do you feel like you're in right now? Do you feel like you're in a phase?
No.
You're not? Okay.
No, I was like, how do I answer this question? I don't know how to answer this question. No, I don't.
Yeah.
I've always been focused on beauty and fashion. So even prior to Black Girl Gamers, I had Culture, which is like a natural hair platform. And even then, like creative directing some of the shoots that we did. It's always been a forefront of me, like fashion and beauty. So I don't think I'm in a phase. I just think that I can show how to work it in without gaming dominating your whole personality. That's not who I am either. I am a gamer, but is it everything I do?
No.
And you shouldn't, to be honest, be anything you do. Everything you do. I think everyone should have balance. And I say that as the CEO of a company, like it's important.
How have you managed to find the blend between fashion and gaming? Because I feel like those can be quite two opposite. So
you would think so.
You would think so, yeah. So how can we, like, how did you see that connection where others might not?
Well, let me take you back to 2020. So in 2020, so I used to work at Facebook, but prior to that,
nice.
I got an award for the MTV Women in Games Award, and I got the Campaigner of the Year award.
Wow, congrats.
Thank you. But that was sponsored by Facebook. And so the person who sponsored that award, who now works at Unity, shout out to Steve Webb, he believed in me from the very beginning. I pitched him the idea of an event that combines gaming, beauty and fashion. And that was something that I had always wanted to do, because 1 year after I started Culture, I started Black Girl Gamers. And I always had gaming and beauty going kind of in a parallel in my life. And so when I was like, why can I not combine these two? And I, as an influencer and someone who was working with brands quite frequently, I would go to events, host events, present events, and know like the kind of elements that would make an audience feel special, make them feel appreciated. The goodie bags, the sessions, the dinners, the brunches, etc. And I was like, why don't, especially since in gaming, women, even though we're kind of half of the gaming populace, not a lot in gaming is not geared towards women. Until more recently, which I would say is also down to a lot of things that I think we've done. So when it came to Gamer Girls Night In, approached my friend Steph, amazing stuff.
Shout out Nate Saga, yeah.
Founder and CEO of Nay Saga, and she's the co-producer of Gamer Girls Night In. And so we did the first one in 2020 with sponsorship from Facebook.
Yes.
And it was for women and non-binary people, and had 2 panels, DJ, nails, food from like Wingstop, cupcakes, DJ Mercedes DJ'd it. We had goodie bags, and so that just told me, okay, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And so fast forward to 2022, we did one in Samsung, and every time this event happens, it sells out within like an hour.
Yeah, that was on the King's Cross as well, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, the one at King's Cross. And that, again, we had Ubisoft, Riot, 2K, YouTube, Twitter, when it was called Twitter.
Yeah.
You get my gist.
Yeah.
Twitter also supported, Cosmopolitan covered it, and Kurt Geiger also supported as well. And we had panels, again, DJ, nails, hair this time, different gaming areas this time as well. And it, again, sold out, great reception. And I'm like, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
But this has always been a part of who I am.
Right.
In terms of, I've always wanted these 2 areas to intersect. But I think it took a while for the industry to see that and then pay attention and realize that, oh, this can happen. Women and non-binary people, or femme-identifying people can mold these 2 areas or these 3 areas into one. And there's a market here, especially since gamers spend a lot of money, which is why a lot of non-endemic brands want to enter the space.
Of course.
So that's how it happened. But it's always been a part of my personality, honestly and truly. I've always had like gaming pieces within my wardrobe. I style them in different ways. It's just, I think now it's more visible that it's a thing compared to just, you remember like when people used to wear Harry Potter merch and everything they'd wear is just Harry Potter. Everything is Deathly Hallows. I think, no offense to you all, but I think there's a way of balancing out so you can show I have style, but I also like this particular thing. Yeah. Without it dominating everything.
Your whole without being like your whole personality. Right. Like visibly your whole personality.
So if you don't know this is Elden Ring, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. It's just a t-shirt that I'm wearing that's styled with, exactly. So that's how I